Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gaming Daddy channel. So today we have a discussion on the table, and I have a few questions to place before the Division 2 community, and including the Division 1 community. I mean, it's a very curious question of mine, and I'm sure many people are probably thinking the same thing. Now, Massive is a company that has basically cut its teeth on Tom Clancy's The Division and other games in the past, no doubt. But I also feel like their relationship with this community of Division agents have taught them a lot in game development, game design as a whole. Now, yes, many have judged their Division games as not meeting, the big, huge, I don't know, in people's mind standards of what a game like this should be. But here's the trick is that no other game has actually provided a standard, and I think they've set the standard for their own little micro mini genre, whatever you want to call it. But the question on hand today that is basically at the tip of my tongue that I want to ask you guys is, would you guys play a Star Wars game made by Massive? If yes, or if no, under what conditions would you be willing to actually play it or give it a try or invest time in it? And I guess I can iterate more on the second question basically because that is more of a gameplay or game design or game functionality type question. Because if you think about all of this, I mean, it's a matter of just going to say, well, what kind of game are they going to bring to the table? Are they going to bring a Star Wars open world multiplayer MMO game? Are they going to bring a single player game? Are they going to bring an RPG in depth like the Division game? These are questions that I feel are valid to ask. And so I guess it's left to you as the gamer yourself. Is this something that you're looking forward to participating in? Now, I guess I can say that already from a lot of our discussions, I'm already starting to see, comments from people saying, I don't care about Star Wars. I really don't care about this. But here is my argument that makes me think many people will play this Star Wars game. Now, this game, if they make it as some sort of a co-op game or they use maybe their own systems where they have a matchmaking system, these are things that Ubisoft Massive have basically fine-tuned. They've developed a community around their gaming where people understand that if you're playing a Division game, it's not necessarily always about the game. It's usually about the relationships that you're going to form. It's usually about the way the game is going to, basically progress and how your missions and encounters are basically going to turn out when you guys and your friends are playing the game. If these elements are implemented into the Star Wars game, I already see the game being successful because not only are these systems very much enjoyed by the Division community, I think they'll do well carried by the Star Wars name. Also, you have to also consider the Star Wars community that is already out there. In my own crawling around the internet over the past few months, in looking at different trends and looking at different communities for games, I've noticed that there's actually a huge Battlefront 2 community on both ends. Let me explain. There's the Battlefront 2 that came out in 2017, and then there's the Battlefront, I think, 2 that also came out a while ago, and other Star Wars games. These two communities, in some sense, enjoy either the old game, the new games, or maybe both of them together. These communities are actually very big. They enjoy Star Wars. And if Massive Ubisoft can actually, import a lot of the good things that makes the Division 2 or even made the Division 1, I think that these communities may be able to adopt it. And you might see a huge, when I say participation of players of a Star Wars game that's being made by them. Also, I know many of you are thinking, but it's Massive though. They don't really know how to do this. A lot of these other communities don't know. It's only us that know, if you get what I mean, because we've been in this communication and this consistent relationship all through for the past 4 years. And so I think it comes down to the question of how are they going to implement this game? I know one thing for sure. Lucasfilms and, the way they actually do their own game stuff is they usually try to coordinate with the game developers and writers that are trying to make a video game. It's not something that the studio does in isolation. I think many people are looking at it from that perspective. I doubt that is the case. Even with Jedi Fallen Order, there were people from Lucasfilms who were basically serving in advisory, roles, trying to help people figure out exactly where and what opportunities they felt needed to be explored, or maybe directions in the story that were necessary in order to make the game, basically feel like a Star Wars themed entertainment, substance. And it's done even in the cinematic, even in the Mandalorian. George Lucas was very much present in a lot of the production. A lot of people don't know. If you really want to check it out, go and watch what they call the gallery. I think it's what it's called, and it shows basically Jon Favreau and a lot of the directors in the Mandalorian basically talking about how they approach the Mandalorian and all of that. And you're going to hear a lot of them cite George Lucas himself as being there for a lot of them, and basically advising most of them in order for them to be able to get to a point where they were able to do a good job because they had something to work on, and they had the guidance of the creator of Star Wars himself, in that whole mix for them. And so I genuinely think that this Star Wars game, and however it's going to play out, is really going to be interesting. It's going to take a lot of learning. It's going to take, Massive and Ubisoft understanding exactly what fans, of these franchises want, and basically them removing a lot of their nasty, dirty practices from these. Because yes, even though I said that many people may not understand or know a lot of the history of, the developers or the designers or the game director from The Division, the Star Wars community is not a community to be trifled with. You guys remember 2017 when EA tried to bring those trashy microtransactions into Battlefront 2? It did not work out very well for them. I think this is something that, even though Massive may say, well, Division community is very passionate, I don't know if they've seen a community more passionate before. So they'll really be in a very different situation in order to, basically deliver this game. But at the end of the day, I'm curious about you, Division agents. Are you down with playing this game? If so, why? And if not, why not? Let me know in the comment section, and hopefully we'll talk again very soon, and we'll talk in another video. Thank you very much for your time and audience once again. Peace out.